Hello, everyone. I hope you had a good day today. Today, I'm going to finish up sewing the bottom of this last piece of my toiletry set, and then I will display the whole set. And I will probably start working on a tray or two out of the same leather, just because I want to. So yesterday, I went ahead after I put the zipper in, and then I went ahead and sewed this piece, the top of it, on so that I could get this done today. And this is a little snug, so I will wet this back piece and bend it a few times to make it where it'll bend easier. I don't want it to break the leather. I will condition this side of it and wet this side of it to make it easier. But it's a decent size. I can't fit my hammer in it, but you could fit a toothbrush set in here easily. These toothbrushes are not used on teeth. These toothbrushes are used on leather. I use them for cleanup and all, but I will take care of that part later. And when I originally cut this out, this top piece of leather that's on the handle was not part of the original design, and I added that to make it where the handle was more chunky. I didn't like it being just a single piece of leather. It seemed kind of thin to hold on to, so now I have a piece that you can hold on to. Hi, Cammie, good to see you. So I just have to finish up sewing around the perimeter. Hi, Jennifer, good to see you. And then this will be, and then I need to sand this edge a little bit, and I will put the black Angelus leather paint on it as well. And this piece will be, and then I'll burnish it, and then this piece will be finished. And then I'll pull out the other 4 pieces and lay them all out together so you can see them. I hope everybody has had a good day today. Thank you, Jennifer. There are times that I think about my choices. I choose to use a smaller hole because I think it looks better. The downfall is I can't use 2 needles at one time and just pass them through together, as I've done in the past with other projects that I've not videoed. But a lot of times you will see people, they will put 1 needle in, and then they will take the other needle and pass it into the hole as well. Let me see. Like you put that one in, and then you would put this one in while the other needle is still in. And I just have to be careful not to pierce my threads. The point of it is you do it when the other needle's in there and there's no risk of pointing the thread, poking through the thread. And then you can pull both needles at the same time. And it looks like I probably did pierce the thread. Yep, I did. And if you have both needles going through at the same time, you don't run that risk. It looks nice. I mean, they do it. People love doing it on videos because it just looks sweet to have someone pulling both pieces of thread at the same time. You have hope from your chosen brother. Grateful for him. Oh, that's good. Always good. I know you're having a heck of a time medically with the doctors and everything, and I am sorry to hear that. I wish someone would get their head out of their backside and treat you the way you deserve to be treated. Oh, I don't know why it's being. It's almost like they didn't align quite right today, this time. But just fun to get this done. I will be on until 9 o'clock or until I get stuff done and I just don't feel like doing anything else. But I'll be logging off at 9 definitely, because another channel comes on. Two Leads in a Pod comes on after this. And I don't want to encroach upon their time. Oh, that's wonderful that you found a new one. Yeah, and you should go through that documentation they give you, the statement. And if they did not give you an itemized statement, you need to request that, just to make sure they're not billing you for something you didn't receive. Because they have treated you like trash, and that is unacceptable. They have not treated you like you should have been treated. And I understand that a lot of hospitals, after dealing with all the COVID stuff, a lot of the people that work at hospitals feel kind of down and out about a lot of it. But that's not an excuse in this situation, because people that work plastic surgery were not the same people having to deal with the COVID patients in the ER and all. So they have no excuse. Oh my God, I'm just catching everything with this thread. Oh, that's not an explanation. There's never an excuse for treating people poorly. Pull this one out. Yeah, I've been thinking about what I'm going to say when I go start seeing doctors. Hi, Terry. And how I'm going to interview the doctors and make it clear to them that I have questions, and I would like answers so that I can decide if they're the right doctor for me. Especially after seeing what you have gone through, Jennifer. I'm not just going to go with any doctor just because they're on my insurance plan. They're going to have to show me that they're going to listen to me and they're going to take care of me. Because I'm kind of overseeing. Let me see. Why does my camera do that? When I set my camera up, right here, this edge right here is normally at the end of my table, and it is now 4 or 5 inches away from my table. So I'm going to try to shift this down a little bit. There we go. Because when I'm working here, you can't see what I'm doing when it's all shifted. So maybe that'll be better. Excuse me, my throat has been dealing with allergies. I hate them. So yeah, I am going to be doing some deep discussions with doctors before I choose to use them. And if they can't understand that, then that's on them. But I need a doctor that's going to listen to me, because, like, I've been in this body forever. I don't need someone dismissing my needs. Yes, this is the last piece, Terry. I have to stitch from here back around to the center point. I have to sand this part down, put the black leather paint on it, put the burnishing compound on it, the Tokonol, and then burnish it up a little bit to finish that edge. And then my set will be complete. I have some patterns for some like trays, like bedside trays. Valet trays is one of the things they're called, that you set like on the side of your bed, your bedside table, so that at the end of the night you can empty your pockets into it and put your keys and your chains and your jewelry in it, whatever. I'm going to make a couple of those. So yeah. There we go. Now that corner, that one lined up really nice. Hi, Tammy. And for those who were keeping up with things, my daughter is sitting on an airplane now. They're not going anywhere yet. They're delayed. But she is in Denver at the airport, sitting on an airplane, waiting for them to get the authorization to take off. The pilot went ahead and started the plane. They got them on the plane, then delayed them again. And so the pilot was like, you know what? I'm starting the engine so that I can run the air and keep it comfortable in here. And that means as soon as they tell us we can take off, we can take off. There's not going to be a delay waiting for me to start the engine and get things moving. There's a possibility she will wind up stranded in Dallas for the night, simply because they're having weather. Tammy, avoiding the doctor's call to get news is not going to make it any better, though. I understand I'd rather not hear it, but you can't get something treated if you don't talk to your doctor and know what it is that you need to get treated. That's my mothering of the day. I do that a bit with people. But you can't fix it if you don't know what's wrong. Hi, Francis. Good to see you. I hope you're feeling well today. I'm actually trying to pay attention to the chat while I'm stitching now so that I don't miss anyone coming in. It's good that you have an appointment with them next week, Tammy. But I need to start setting up some appointments because I need to go to the hand doctor and get both of my hands checked and find out what the problem is and what they can do to fix it. I need to go to the podiatrist for my foot. I think I stepped on something a long time ago. I had developed a lump under my foot close to the arch. However, it is moved, this little lump. It moves and it gives me very sharp pains. It has moved to the back of my heel now, and that tells me that it's something that should not be there that needs to come out. So I am going to make a call, get me a foot doctor so they can see that and tell me what they need to do to fix it. And then I will set up the doctor to resolve some of this knee and hip issues that I have going on. And just start trying to take better care of myself, because once they get rid of my pains in my knees and hips, then I can start going for walks again and get my weight back under control. I want to get down like I used to be. Close to what I was when I met you, Jennifer, all those years ago. Yeah, this is something else. It feels like sometimes it feels like someone's poking me with a needle in my foot when I walk on it. I'm thinking there's like a piece of glass or something in there, which would not surprise me because some people, possibly named Tori, love walking around barefoot and have walked around barefoot where there's glass. I know it is not from when my car got crashed into, because this has been there since before then. So we'll see. We will see. But the interview process of these doctors is going to be fun because they get to hear me ask them the lovely question of how well they listen to their patients. Because, like I said, I've lived with my body my whole life. I know my body better than anyone. I know what meds I cannot take, such as I don't take a lot of the pain meds they love giving people, like hydrocodone and stuff like that, because it makes me loopy as all get out and I can't function. I do not like that feeling. Some people do. I am not one of them. I cannot take codeine because it doesn't work. It makes me hyper. I think I have some kind of allergic reaction to it, but it's not a severe allergic reaction, but it makes me hyper. And it does not kill pain for me. So I can't take codeine-based stuff either. And usually when I say I need a pain med, they're like, oh, look, she's trying to get high. And it's like, no, because I don't like that feeling. Give me something that's not going to make me loopy in the head. How about 50 milligrams of tramadol? Because if I take 100 milligrams, it makes my skin crawl, and I don't like that either. Unless there's a better one that works better than tramadol and doesn't make me loopy in the head. You know what? I have taken calculus and trigonometry. Survived both. Didn't love either one. Took geometry too. I like geometry. Terry, when do you get a package? Yeah. Yeah. That's how I am, Marcia. Hi, Marcia, by the way. I do not like that loopy in the head feeling. And I know what it is. I'm a control freak. I like being in control. Hi, Sandra. And when you're on those pain meds, to me, that loopy feeling feels like I'm no longer in control. And that doesn't work for me. I have to be in control of what goes on. Okay. Terry said it all depends on the post. He's saying the post surface. I understand what he's saying. I read that is it all depends on the pasta sauce, and I could not figure out where pasta sauce came into this whole conversation. Marcia, say it isn't so. You're not a control freak. The injections, Tammy, the standard Novocaine injections they give you when they do oral work, that stuff doesn't really work on me either. I have a weird reaction to meds. They sit there and do those stupid injections in my mouth to do oral work. Hi, Britta. And it does, they use maximum and I can still feel things. It numbs it a little bit, but not much. So I can just feel everything. And so now another thing I have to do is find a dentist that does sedation dentistry. Because if I have to have any serious work done in my mouth, which I know I do, I have to be knocked out. It's not a question of should I be knocked out. I have to be knocked out because I feel everything, and I have decided that I am no longer going to tolerate and just put up with that pain. Hi, Lisa. So yeah, it's I really have to start taking better care of myself before I fall apart. I decided I don't want to be on here constantly going, ow, this hurts, ow, that hurts, ow, this hurts. Oh, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. There are legitimate reasons to do that when you have, because we have things happen. But it should not be over things I can absolutely control and take care of. Yeah, I did the root canal and could feel it when I had the cyst behind the bones in my mouth that got infected, and they had to open it up and clean it out. And then when they had to take the cysts out, I was awake. I felt everything. And I said, never again. Next time I had to do some work done, I've told them to knock me out. They go, well, it's a minor extraction. I said, I don't care. I'm not going to be awake. I'm going to be off in La La Land, and I'm going to be sleeping because I don't want to hit the dentist or anyone helping him. So now when I come and watch this video later, and I have not yet made my doctor's appointments, I can kick myself in the butt. I have heard of that happening, Tammy. I know my mom had heard about it too. And when she was going to be having her surgery, she told the doctor to knock her out and then give her a little extra medicine to make sure she doesn't wake up. And the doctor's like, you're not going to wake up during surgery. And my mom started quoting the cases that she knew of that had happened. And the doctor just laughed at her and said they would do extra monitoring on her. And she said, well, do understand, if I wake up during surgery, I'm going to die. That's it. I'm going to be dead. So are you feeling considerably better, Marcia? And I took my compression gloves off upstairs when I was doing something because I didn't want to get them dirty. And I forgot to put them back on. But that's okay because I have 6 pair arriving today. Because when you misplace your compression gloves, you order 6 more pair. And then the other ones magically show up again. I baited it. I did go down one size because the ones I have are actually kind of loose. And compression gloves should not be loose. In the hole. Come on, baby, in the hole. There we go. That's good to hear that you're much better. I understand the tired thing. I have not been sleeping, but that's stress. That's personal. That's my stress-induced insomnia, super insomnia, because of my daughter being out there and not home. It's the nature of me. Once she said, the car is messed up, I'm stranded, my anxiety and stress went through the roof, and it's not going to calm until her butt is back in this house. So I'm exhausted. I wake up exhausted. Of course, I'm not getting much sleep. And yeah, and it's like in the middle of the day, it's like, oh God, I should take a nap right now. And I can't. I absolutely won't take a nap. No matter how hard I try, I couldn't. Jennifer, that goes back to you too, darling. I know you're recovering from your surgery. My daughter is sitting on an airplane in Denver, waiting for it to take off to head to Dallas, Fort Worth, but there's some weather in Dallas, so they delayed her flight in Denver. She did give herself almost a 2-hour layover in Dallas, which gives her plenty enough time. Worst case is she just said she's grounded for the next 3.5 hours. So Dallas must be getting some really bad weather. Let me message her real quick. Let me see. Go to the American Airlines service desk and ask if there is another way they can reroute. That's exactly what she's going to do. She's not freaking out, and she had already said that if she doesn't catch her flight, that she's, Mom, you're not putting me in the hotel again. I'll just stay at the airport. I'm fine. And that comes from, she knows how many times I've slept in an airport. I flew in from England and landed in Newark, New Jersey, and nothing was flying out because of how bad the weather was. And they couldn't get us in a hotel because first, all the hotels were full, and second was there was no way to get us there because the road conditions were so bad. Everything was pretty much shut down. Unfortunately, all the workers that worked at the airport that served food all went home. So basically, we were stuck in the airport with no food, no way to get a drink other than water out of the water fountain, which was disgusting. Restrooms that the floors were flooded, no place to sit except on the floor because they've had people that were laying down across seats that had been there for days. So a group of us basically set up our own little camp, put all of our carry-on luggage together in the middle and leaned up against it so that we were supporting each other. And then, if someone needed to use the facility, someone else watched the stuff for us so that we could figure it out. So she's going to go find the American Airline desk and say, well, now that I'm missing my connection, I need a place to sleep tonight. I have actually been on planes with unaccompanied minors before that were delayed. And we had a brother-sister combo one year, one of my flights. I used to fly a lot with my work. And we were delayed, so they were delaying food service. And finally, one of the passengers complained and was like, you have 2 children under 12 on this plane who have not eaten and who are hungry. I understand if it was an adult, all adults on the plane saying, we have to delay service, that's one thing. But you have small children that need to eat. And maybe if you feed them and take care of them, then they can lay back on their seat and get some sleep. And so they decided to go ahead and feed us before we had gotten the air. But there was some stupid rule about they weren't supposed to serve us food until they were in the air. But because we were stuck in the airplane for like 2 hours, they refused to let us out. They refused to let us out of the airplane, so we were kind of stranded for a couple of hours. And they went ahead and fed us anyway. And my phone is going crazy because probably my daughter calling. Nope, it's not my daughter calling. But she's texting us, though. And I don't know if you can hear my phone making noise or not. So yeah, she's going to take care of it. She's figuring it out. I think she feels, even though she's still stranded, she feels less so being that she is actually at the airport and has a plane ticket to get home. Well, the biggest thing for me was getting the car home was because I knew she would not leave until the car was taken care of. She wouldn't, and I don't blame her. I mean, I wouldn't want to leave my car behind either. So I needed to get that. That was my big stressor, was getting the car taken care of, because it could not be driven home safely. So, and someone just saw my Facebook post I had made, a friend of mine, and she's like, "Why didn't you call me? I'm not that far from Denver. I could have gone and helped her." So if I have a couple of people now that I know that are in the area that if I need help, I can get it. For me, if people are like, "Why didn't you call me? I live close to Denver." And it's like, and you expect me in my stressed out moment to remember who lives where. Uh-huh. Yeah, safety first. I mean, she won't stress over it. She kind of has the same attitude I do. Delays are there for a reason. She like when we went to Robbie's in December, we got rerouted. I use the Waze app and it reroutes you around heavy traffic. First of all, we were delayed leaving the house because of the hot water heater situation I dealt with. And then we wound up getting rerouted. And after I got there, I found out why we had been rerouted, because a little bit earlier, there had been a very severe wreck on the interstate that we were supposed to be traveling on. So, we just kind of look at each other and goes, "Oh, okay, well, our hot water tank decided to take a crap that moment, first of all, so that it would be taken care of, because had we already left, the chances of Jeff and Oliver finding it were slim, since both of them were sick with COVID. So they probably would not have caught it in my basement. It would have been flooded bad. It would have been flooded bad, because it would have flooded my garage and it would have flooded part of the basement because of the garage flooding. Because the back side of the garage, where the room is, where the hot water tank is, sits over my daughter's bedroom. So yeah, reasons, things happen. Okay, there it is. So, there was that reason. But the other reason was that we couldn't get on the road when we needed to because we would have been in the way of that wreck. So I use the Waze app, and because of the limited choices of voices, Boy George is my navigator. He makes me laugh. He's constantly talking about need of tea on the app. So when they get back to the gate and let them off the plane, they will have to let her off the plane, because if not, she'll start freaking out. She will go and see if there's something she can do about changing her flight, because it's not a Denver thing. They're saying it's a Fort Worth, Dallas thing. Jennifer, I've traveled a lot in my first 5 years of work. So I have dealt with most types of airport delays. Even Marcia, even when it's classified as a quote act of God. I know if it's their delay, she can get money back. I mean, I don't know that weather would constitute that. Oh, I need to inform her of that. It'd be nice for her to get back some of the money I've spent to get her and her car home. Yeah, Jennifer, she has to see what's available. First, they have to get them back to the gate. And then she can go find a counter and see if there's anything they can do. Yeah, I wished I would have known those little tidbits of information when I was traveling all the time, because, yeah, we got delayed a lot. I think I spent like 12 to 16 hours in Newark in the airport with me and a bunch of strangers leaning on each other and taking naps, watching out for each other. And it was all because snow. Yeah, all these seats on the straight shot flights were gone. So if they have to put her on a flight tomorrow, they actually might be able to get her one that is a direct route. She has to get to the gate first, then she can go to the ticket counter. There. She's like, huh? Mutter, mutter, peanut butter. Yeah. See, we were doing her flight. You think about it, we booked her flight last night, so it was kind of last minute. And so there weren't any available straight shot flights, because that is preferred, especially for her. She has some mobility issues after her injury at work in 2020. which is why she's back in school. But yeah. So, for her, getting on the plane, off the plane, on the plane, off the plane is not fun. Well, now it's calm now because I know I have people in the area. The lady I'm making the shoe purse for said she's an hour or so away from Denver. And she goes, I'll drive in and get her. So, yeah. I mean, I could have rented her a car, but I don't think she really wanted to drive that by herself. Driving that 20 hours is one thing, but driving 20 hours alone is another. Driving it with someone else in the car. I know people. I just can't always remember where they live. And I know people, and I know people that know people. Put it that way. But it's funny, like after I got everything straightened out for her, then I have people going, oh, what can I do for you? I'm in Dallas. What do you need? Well, she is probably on Google right now, checking out what she can get. Because I want her equipped with the right information, because she will absolutely march right up to that counter and go, since this flight is delayed now 4.5 or 3.5, 4.5, 5 hours, you owe me compensation. No, I will not take credit for the airline. I want actual dollars, because that is what I'm due. And she will absolutely do that. Yeah, because they can pay you, I think it's based on your ticket price. They pay you back so many times your ticket price up to a certain dollar amount. And so 5 times 0 is still 0. So yeah. And we have flown on cheap tickets due to knowing people that were working for the airline. We did one, and we had to fly standby, but the tickets were so flippin' cheap. And the only delay we had was coming home. We got booted for 1 hour. The first flight was full. The second flight was leaving an hour later. And it was like, okay, well, we'll just go get something to eat. And they gave us, they took care of us. Even though we were standby, they gave us a food voucher. It's almost finished. I do need to move my glue can from underneath where I have it, because it's where it's sitting. My leg sits up against it. And after sitting like this for a while, it just causes me pains. And I thought about it last night because it was pushing up against my leg. Oh, I bet. Worst place I ever flew out of was Italy. There was no rhyme or reason for getting on the plane. Luckily, I had someone that was familiar with me, my boss. So when it was getting closer to time, he'd just come over and he grabbed me. He says, "Follow me." And I walked with him and he goes, "It's chaos getting on the plane. So get to the front and just go in. Don't worry about me. Go." And so I was able to get on the plane because he coached me. That's it? Only a $50 voucher? No. Need to come up with more than that for me to change flights. And now I fly so infrequent, they need to give me more than a voucher. It's like, give me some real money. I mean, I understand why they prefer to give vouchers. My daughter wound up with a voucher off of her last flight she took, and she actually used it for her friend for this trip. I think I don't remember what it was. She was flying Southwest and they were at the gate and there was nothing to do, and the Southwest agent got on the speaker and she says, "If someone will come up here and sing this song, I'll give them $100 voucher." So that's exactly what she did. She got up there and sang the song. They gave 3 people a $100 voucher. She's like, "I can't believe I did that. I just got up there and sang in front of a bunch of people I don't know." She goes, "But $100 is $100. Yeah, my main flights were over to England, Denmark, and Italy with my work. Did a lot of flights in and out of England. And at the time, the IRA was big in England. So I did not fly through the Heathrow airport because that's where if they were going to have trouble at the airport because of the IRA, it was always Heathrow because that was their bigger airport. So I always flew into Gatwick. When I flew over to Denmark, I had to change planes in England, and I knew they were always going to misplace my luggage, and I wouldn't get it until the following day. So I carried what I needed on the plane with me, and I knew that I was going shopping. Because the airline we flew and everything, and the way we had it set up, was that if our luggage was delayed, we could go buy a new outfit of clothes, reasonably priced, whatever we needed. And so that's exactly what I did. Was I would get in, my luggage wouldn't be there. I would go to the desk. They would give me the information I needed. I would go to the store and shop. Then when I got home, I would submit all the paperwork and give my boss the receipts. He would file it through the airline and get his money back on them. So yeah. British Airway bought me so many outfits, as did Delta, because it didn't matter if I had what I needed. Every time my luggage was left, I went shopping and bought a new outfit. And one time there was 4 or 5 of us on the plane together. We all worked together. I was the only one with a company credit card, so we went shopping. And I had to teach someone a little something about ethics. He wanted to buy a $3,000 suit when he didn't even have $3,000 worth of clothes in his suitcase. And I'm like, yeah, that's not the way this works. This is reasonable expenses. And then I started asking him, what did you bring with you to wear? And he's like, slacks and dress shirts. And I said, then you get a pair of slacks and you get a dress shirt. I'm not taking you to the high-end department store to buy a $3,000 suit. He thought he was just going to get some high-end clothing for free. I had never been out of the country until I accepted my first job. And during the interview, he asked me if I would have a problem getting my passport and traveling out of the country. And I was like, nope, I'll do it. Because no one in my family had traveled out of the country. So for me, that was a big deal. Here I am right at the end. And what do? I make a rat's nest of thread. There we go. Through Mr. Needle. Ouch. Yeah. But it was business casual. So the men wore dress slacks and a button down shirt. That was it. And usually, because we flew in on a Sunday night, and usually on Friday, you needed something a little dressier because the client would take us out to a big dinner, either Friday or Saturday before we headed back out. Or if we stayed 2 weeks, they would do it 2 nights. We would get that each weekend. We would get a nice dinner out. And then I'm going to pull out my thrifty new thread zapper. Pull the cap off of it. It's got, I doubt you can see it. Let me see. Yeah, you can see that wire that's on there. If I hold down this button for 3 seconds, the wire gets hot enough and it melts the threads. It means I don't have to use a lighter. And it allows me to melt that down and create a little ball of the thread and then smush it a little bit so it creates like a button to stop that thread from pulling through. There. And I like the fact that it has this cap because it's far enough away that it doesn't touch the wire, and it has the hole in the top and the holes on the side so it can cool off easy. Nifty little thing. That one is so much better than the last one. And if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please, I would appreciate it if you would take the liberty of hitting that subscribe button to subscribe to my channel. If you have not done so, please click that thumbs up to give me a positive on this. So that helps my algorithm. Hit the little bell so you get notification. I got me some new sanding stuff coming in for these things so that I can do this easier. Just grind it down a little bit. Make it closer to level. Hi, Stacy. Yeah, no matter how long I went on my trip, I would go on my trip for a week and I would still have almost 2 weeks worth of clothes. And I told someone, because I don't know what I'm going to feel like wearing. And depending on where we go eat, depends on what I need to go out and eat. And that way I was also always ready for no matter what, that if at the last minute they called said we needed to be more business-like, then I had what I needed to do that. Oh, I love Dremels. This is my small one. I have a bigger one. My leather came in from my other commission. It came in today, so this is perfect. My daughter's probably kicking herself in the butt because she absolutely did not fly with the airline we normally do. If she would have flown Southwest, she would not have gone through Dallas. Or if she would have taken the 7 a.m. flight. That was her other option. But I understand not getting on the 7 a.m. flight. I would not normally opt for a 7 a.m. flight either. Well, I do actually. I take the early flights going to places. And I take the late flight coming home. Feel that. That's good. Yeah, she was at the airport well in advance of her flight. It's all these stupid delays. This one I'm going to put a little burnishing on it first. I wonder if I should let her know that everybody in chat is rooting for her to get home. This burnishing compound, one of the things it does is, let me see if you can see it. I don't know if you can. The fibers of the leather are roughed up on here. And one of the things the burnishing compound does is it helps smooth those, glue those pieces of fiber together, so to speak, to make the edge a lot smoother. Some people do not use a burnishing compound, but I like faster results. So I use the burnishing compound. I don't want to spend hours finishing edges if I don't have to. I would rather spend hours working on another project. The reality is, if I had a grandchild that loved doing burnishing, I would just knock things out and let them do all my burnishing for me. It's my least favorite part of doing this stuff, is doing the edges. But I do it because that's what you're supposed to do. Actually, it depends on what I'm making. I have some things that I did not finish the edges on, either because the edges were on the inside or because I like the edges of the raw. I like those raw edges showing. Oh, don't you love that? Yeah, I had to put in a requirement for how much time I had to be on the ground between flights, because one time they booked me. I flew from New Orleans, Louisiana to, I think it was Atlanta. And I came in on the domestic terminal, and I had to go over to the international terminal, which is not connected to the domestic terminal in any way, shape, or form. And they had given me like 15 or 20 minutes. And that's not even easy enough to get from gate to gate, let alone terminal to terminal. And I was like the last person on the plane. I think my people on my flight that I was on contacted where I was going, and told them that I was on the way, that they had landed and I was on the way over. And so they kind of didn't leave without me. Smooth these edges a little bit. So I told our lady that books our flights that in the future, please leave me an hour, 1 hour between flights. Because if I was going to be going straight from the airplane to the office, that meant I was wearing office attire on the plane. Yeah, well, that's when you landed after the flight was supposed to take off, so I understand that part. Give it a little bit more push from inside this way. So now that come on, quit pushing it in. My hands aren't long enough to really get a good grip on that. That's better. I have gotten on an earlier flight before. I landed one time and she originally had me on a 2-hour layover. And I got to my gate. And it happened to be a flight that was it was a frequent flight between the 2 points, that they had a flight every hour. And I get there to the gate and the lady asked me about my ticket and stuff. And I told her, I'm like, well, my flight's not for an hour. And she goes, we have plenty of seats on this flight if you want to just take it. Not thinking, I went ahead and took the flight, the earlier flight. And my luggage didn't show up until the regular time because it was on the right flight. Yeah. Yeah. Jeff is talking to her. He's looking up flight stuff. He's doing the stuff that I would normally do, so I don't have to. Oh my goodness, this is stuck. I don't know why this is stuck. I must have gotten paint in my threads. Let's see if I can pull some of that off. Yep. I had paint in my threads. And that makes the container kind of get locked shut. Yeah, I mean, I know this is stressing her out, and she's not going to come to me because, one, she knows I'm streaming, and for two, she knows how stressed I've been over this whole ordeal. My daughter does not for a minute have any kind of strange delusions. She absolutely knows how lucky she is to have me as her mom. She acknowledges that a lot of moms would not have let her and the kids live with them and to rebuild their life after an injury or even before an injury. So, and she, acknowledges that I pulled money from one place to get her home. And so the money I'm getting from my bonus check won't get used the way I wanted it to because I used that money to get her home. And she acknowledges that. And I'm, it's kind of nice. And, someone made a comment about her living at home with me and all kinds of stuff and being smart alecky and stuff like that. And she's like, yeah, she goes, I'm not under any kind of delusion. The reality is, until both of my children are 18 years old, if I say I need a place to stay, my mother's going to give me a place to stay. She doesn't have to, but she will. Yeah, Stacy, Jennifer knows us real time, as we call it. Jennifer knows my husband, and that's how I met Jennifer. They go back a ways, and then I met Jennifer through my husband. And my paint tray that I'm going to have to take up and clean out because I keep putting paint in it in all these different holes to do the edges. But so Jennifer knows us in real life, has shared space and time with my child and a meal kind of thing. So they know each other kind of, thing. I mean, I wouldn't expect a total stranger that doesn't know my child to start messaging my child and making him laugh, because she would be like, who the hell are you? And that is Jennifer. Jennifer is the mama. She's another mama type. When Jennifer and I are in the same place and same time, Jennifer nags me to make sure that I've eaten and that I'm taking care of myself. Would be an awesome travel assistant. And then can find a joke about almost anything if needed. Okay, this thing is still showing just the edge. That edge paint makes such a big difference. Yes, I know, Jennifer. Because I know if you don't eat, what happens. And that is not a responsibility I want. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to take on that of Jennifer was with you and you didn't make sure Jennifer ate, and now Jennifer is sick. Nope, nope, nope. I don't want that on my plate. That, and I don't want you to be sick. Yeah. Okay. That's it for a minute and dry a little bit more. Move that out of the way. And I did get a new stand for my phone. So now when I hammer, I'll be over here. And so I won't be hammering up in the lens anymore. It won't look like I'm smashing you in the face, nor will I actually hit my camera anymore. Not a place I would want to be stuck at that time. Um, I knew a lot of people that were stuck because of the flights being landed. There was a convention in Chicago with a bunch of people that I knew, and they had all gone to the airport that day. And no, or maybe it was, I can't remember if it might have been in the New York area. I can't remember, but one of the planes that was hijacked was a plane that some of them were supposed to be on. And at the last minute, they decided to change their flights to the next day and go antiquing and looking for antique sewing machines. So when we started getting words of what was going on, those of us that were uninvolved got on there and started playing I started to say keyboard warrior, but that's not quite the correct word, because that's usually a negative thing. But we were on the computers, of this is the people we know that are there. Did these people get on that flight? And the only way we had to communicate at that time was through an email list, because things that we use now didn't exist to the capacity that they do. And so a few of us had each other's phone numbers, so there were texts going around and stuff, and we right into the email list, and like the group that was supposed to be on that one plane, when we said something to them, they were like, at the last minute we decided to stay another night, and we all changed our flight. It was the flight that was supposed to go out to California, and they had changed their flight. And yeah, it was something else. And then it was we had a bunch of people that were over from England and everything that had already checked out of their hotels, that had no way home because all the flights were grounded. And so we started putting out the calls of who was near these airports that could get in and could take people in. And that's basically what happened. Was a lot of people that we knew open their doors to strangers that were at this convention, so that nobody was sleeping at the airport. Because by the time they were able to get to a hotel, trying to get in a hotel was going to be almost impossible, because people were already hitting those up. Yeah, it was a stressful time, and I couldn't imagine being there during that. It would have put my mama mode into hyperdrive, and I would have been trying to take care of everything and everybody. Because that's what I do in crisis mode. When I'm in crisis mode, I got to take care of everybody. I need to take the jars up after this, because I said I was going to finish this project, and then I'm going to empty that jar and refill it with a new compound, because this compound was getting kind of thick. Yeah, that was a horrible time. Absolutely horrible time. And I think in the US at that time, somebody knew somebody who was affected. Everybody knew somebody affected, either directly or indirectly. I worked with people who had family there. I had people there myself that I knew. Heck, I was eating. My daughter and I were at the dentist when the first plane hit. We had just left the dentist when the second plane hit. And we had gone to get something to eat before I went to work. And she was actually going to go back to school, but with that happening, she did not go to school. But anyway, we stopped at a Waffle House type place, and there was a lady in there who was on the phone. My husband had called me, had told me what had just happened. He had watched the second plane hit because they had the TV on at work when it hit. And this lady was talking to her husband who worked in the Twin Towers. And he was trying to tell her what was going on, and his phone was cutting in and out, and then his phone went dead. And she tells her friend, "Get me to the airport. I need to go home." And I told her, I said, "I don't mean to sound rude or anything, but you're not getting on an airplane. They've grounded all flights." I have refused to watch any of the videos. My husband at the time, my late husband now, was watching. He was, like I said, he was watching the news at work, and and he actually had walked into the break room. He thought it was something else. He thought it was like a movie or something, because they were doing the interview, talking to somebody about the first plane hitting when the second plane hit. And so he watched it happen. And I know how it affected him. So I have chosen not to watch it. Yeah, I that's how he was. He didn't have a choice. He kind of was, he didn't choose to watch it. It was on the TV at work and he saw it. You know, I've seen those kind of things, and it's just no, it's not okay. So, but that was a stressful time for us, for all of us. It was a time when things changed in the United States. People changed. I worked with a lot of people from different countries. The nature of my work. The people that I work with stopped going out to eat lunch because they weren't notably Americans. Therefore, in the eyes of a lot of people, they had to have been those people, the enemies. And so they were afraid to even go out and eat lunches anymore. When we went to eat lunch, we made sure that we had a very large group of those of us who were born here in the country. To go with them so that we could protect them. And, you know, that's when you start realizing how ugly people can be. It was the time that truly you saw the best of people and you saw the worst of people. There were those that would do anything and everything to protect and to care for others. And then you had the other people that were on the other extreme that felt like the world was our enemy. If you weren't born in this country, you're the enemy, and you're trying to kill us. And they would try to take action against people like that, and they were attacking them, physically attacking them. And I'm like, you're being everything you're accusing them of being, and it was horrible. I hated seeing people act that way. I disassociated from anyone that said, "Do you work with any of those people?" and had that kind of attitude of those people. I disassociated them. I didn't want them to be around me anymore. Because I did work with people from I work with people, I still do. I work with people from all over the world. It's the nature of my work. Currently, I'm working with a lot of people that are native to India. And you know, one of the girls, she and I were friends. And we've just, because of the nature of the work, we weren't like, we were work friends, I guess would be a better way to put it. Had it not been for work, we wouldn't have hung out really. It was work friends. But, she come up to me and she's like, are you okay with still being around me? And I'm like, why wouldn't I be? And, she expressed how some of her friends had walked away because of that. And I'm like, did you do it? And she's like, no. I said, do you think it was right that they did it? She's like, no. And I said, then why would I not be around you? I can't blame you for what someone else did. That's wrong. Get my bottle of water here. Put some water on my sponge. This sponge is not very absorbent right now. Take in some water. Oops, I just spilled water. Anyway. Yeah. That's because some of us have this thing called compassion, Marcia. And we realize that you can't blame everybody for the actions of a few. That's a little too much water there. Some of us have that common sense. Hell, I don't even blame a child for the action of their parents. Or I don't blame one sibling for the actions of the other sibling. That's not the way it works. It's not the Hatfield and McCoys. They're not all good and all bad. Sorry if anyone is related to a Hatfield or a McCoy, but I think you know what I'm talking about. Okay, now I can bend this and not worry about cracking my leather. But I do need to break that seal where it'll actually open. And it'll actually stay open a little bit. I can open it and make it stay open. And obviously, if you have things in here holding it down, have it open, it's not going to do anything, but you can easily just close it up. Oh, I think I want to do this for a shoe care kit. Make one. I'm going to blow up this pattern. That would make an awesome shoe care kit. Carry up my cleaning and polishing supplies and travel with that. Oh, that'd be a good one. Anyway. So I don't use binoculars, so I don't need a binoculars case. But yeah, it could be depending on the measurements. I mean, if this was right and it was just not tall enough, making it taller is easy. I could just add down here, add 2 as much as I wanted to make it as tall as I wanted. I could add 6 inches onto the bottom of this and make it taller. So, but I'm going to lay them this way so you can see them. So we have this one. And we have this shorter round one. This is the rectangle one that I just finished. I love the way that leather changes colors when it folds. Yeah, I was originally going to put in solid black zippers, and I ordered them, and they didn't come in time. And so I wasn't going to hold up the whole project just for zippers. And then I have the almost round. It's called almost round. I call it squarish. Short one. And then I have the 7-inch tall round one. And I have a 7-inch tall squarish one as well. So this is the complete set that you can set up in a tray that Lisa of Two Leaves in a Pod is going to make me. She's going to make me a nice little resin tray so that I can put my stuff in it, put these in it, and have a resin tray underneath it. So when I travel, one of the things about this is it's modular. So, you know, you put certain things in each piece of it, and you can actually store it in different suitcases or in different carry-on bags or whatever, and makes it where you can just stuff stuff in better places. But if you're going to leave it on the bathroom counter at, you know, at a hotel, the last thing you want is for it to be sitting on a dirty counter at a hotel or getting wet, because, you know, the counters at the hotels, they get wet in the bathrooms when people use them. And so you don't want the leather to get wet. That creates a whole other problem with it. And so I asked Lisa if she would make me a resin tray to match this, that I could put under it. And it just needs to be big enough to fit all these in it, maybe with a little space so they're not rubbing up against the edges. And that way I can put a resin tray in the bottom of my suitcase, throw everything in it, because it's, you know, there's support in there, and, you know, carry that with me. And then get to the hotel, pull the tray out, throw it up on the counter, and put these up there. And I now have my modular toiletry set. I can open them up and leave them sitting in the tray. I'm waiting for Lisa to come on here and say, "What? Are you calling me?" Yes. Especially if you room with people who are less careful than you are. And, you know, you just open this one and you put it this way. You have access to all of them. You can actually turn them where they open toward the center, or you can do whatever you want with them. You could put it where the tall ones are in the back and the short ones are in the front, to make it easier to make them accessible. But then they're in a tray with a little bit of a lip. The counter gets wet, the tray gets wet. It's resin. You can wipe it off on a towel. You can also sanitize it. Sanitizing leather is very harsh for the leather itself. I can do it, but not what I really want. Oh yeah, you out your little Debbie's in this one. Hey, no, Pringles are taller than this. I could make it taller and we could put a Pringles can in it. Yeah, picnic set, huh? You got Uber lights today. I need to see if I have a package. Can a child check the mail, please? We have a group text chat, so we can all text each other in one message. Talk to the whole family in one message. And because I'm using my phone as my camera, I have an app where I can get my text on my computer. So it makes it easier for me to communicate with the family. I want mine. I want my Uber lights. Because then I could send someone to get my black light, and then I can do a unboxing. I wish Flutter was here, but I know where Flutter is. Flutter had an appointment and then said, after my appointment, I'm going to look for rocks. And I'm like, good, because you got some cool rocks. I want some. Let's put water in that one. And these zippers are really good zippers. You know, they're easy to zip. If I can get my fingers to grip them, they're easy to zip. You know, I'm zipping them with one hand. I'm just turning the container and zipping them. So the zippers, I try to make sure I'm using good zippers for that reason. But yeah, it's nice little containers. And these are a little bit over 3.5 inches. Nope. Yeah. 3 3/4 inches or something like that. Almost 4 inches across in both directions. That's that one and this one. They're the same. Yeah. So the almost square ones are the same size that way and that way. This one is, oops, right at 3.5 inches. And that's right at 3. So they're both 3.5 inches across. So the two round ones are 3.5 inches, and the other ones are just short of 4 inches, closer to 3 3/4. And this one is, the base of it is like 3.5. They said 4 inches, but it's not. Of course, they also said it was 4 something tall. Well, it is 4 3/4 tall. They said 4.5. It's 4 3/4. And lengthwise, it is short of 8 inches. It's not quite 8 inches. Not quite 8 inches. But it's a nice set. I like it. I'm going to have fun traveling with these at the end of the month. And I think I'm going to see if I have any pink leather, especially if I have any hot pink leather, and make Flutter some of these in pink and black for her, for some rock picking. I just think it'd be cool for her to have a couple. I'll try to fit it in when I'm not doing anything else. Actually, what I'm going to do, just for the sake of moving it around, they won't close in there, but there they are. I hear a grandchild.
And if just tell me what the Zaxby's opened up.
Well, I got no rocks today. Ooh. I got something, but no rocks. Thank you.
Oh,
Well,
cash.
Oh, I know. I got new compression gloves. Woohoo! Like my compression gloves came in. Yes. The right size. Hi, MZ. So now let me see how these feel. Oh. Don't want to pull it too much. And you know, I had to get some. They say they're purple. They're a really light purple though. You get those textured palms. Yeah, there. Oh, nice. I don't get my stuff till the end of April when I go down. And, Rosie needs to get herself together so she's gets her ticket and all so she can get down there. So yay. I'll take these up later. I need to clip them together so I don't forget them. And stick a pin in it. Hang it right here so it's in my way. Because if it's in my way, I won't forget it. And then I have this little triangle tray I can make. I don't know how well you can see the shape of it. I guess I need to flip over to my YouTube channel and then I can see how well you can see it. Okay, yeah, you can see the outline of it. But that one, this one is tiny. I mean, this tray is smaller than my round boxes. They call it a tray. That's not a tray. It's a wee bitty little thing. All of these are. Because it's just a little circle. And that one comes out looking like a crown because of the shape of the top of it. I might come up with my own. And that's just a regular round one. That's a little rectangle one. Actually, that one I might make. And a tiny little oval one. Need to blow up all these patterns and redo the whole alignment in them. So I'm not fond of the sizes. I love it. It says on here to not there, but on one of them. Let me see. It was on the other one. It said to make sure you cut out the holes correct. Make sure you align your holes so that the spacing in them is right. And these are, ew, that's horrible. Is this the right size? It is. So they just made these like whatever on stitch length. I might have to redo the stitch length on these just to see if I can line it up. It's lining up every fifth hole. Might have to wing it there then. Yep, I'm just going to redo that. And that means I can just make the pattern bigger. I'll just split the pattern in the center piece, spread it out a little bit. Because this would be a cute tray to have at the hotel as well. I'm gonna look at my chat real quick because I know they're so small. Do I have a submarine keychain? I do not. I can look. I don't have one currently, but I can probably find it. Jennifer, you know what? The tall round one or the short round one would fit those ding dongs. You know the ding dong, the chocolate cakes with the cream filling they're called ding dongs. Hostess makes them. Oh my God, they would fit in there. Shame on you for putting that in my head. I want my Uber lights. All right, Jennifer. You know that you can't eat most of that stuff you're naming. And Robbie's supposed to take Marsha's stuff down. Yeah, I don't need the compression sleeves, but with my hands hurting the way I do need the compression gloves. My other ones were an extra large, and so they were a little loose. They were really loose. And these are a large. I did them according to the measurement across my hand, and they fit a little better. I probably could have gone with a medium, but I also don't want them to be too tight here and cut off the circulation in my fingers. I'm still catching up on messages. Right, you need a yellow submarine. Got it. Let me make myself a note. Marcia wants a yellow submarine. Actually, just do. Did I use up all this ink? See, it isn't so. Oh, it isn't so. I got ink in there. What the heck is wrong with you? Yes, Jennifer, that is what Marcia asked about. Well, ooey. I know I have more ink in here somewhere. Oh, look, it's one of my measuring tapes that got misplaced. My long one. Well, where's my rainbow pen? I can't keep up with ink pens down here because people come down here and move them. They borrow them and then move them. Never to be seen again. And my cool pens are the ones that always disappear because kids, they only want your cool ones. Right? Isn't that the way it goes? They only want to steal your cool ink pens. I don't know if this has something on it. That's what the problem is. Let's see. Let's see if I got grease or something on it that caused it to not write. Nope. It just did. Just a dead soldier. Do the other old school method of heating the tip. Huh. Oh, okay. I shall find it. Either I'll find it or I'll find something close to it and then can alter it. Go find me a pattern for a stuffy. I have absolutely taken stuffy patterns before. A second. Okay. So if I lengthen this in the two places, I would lengthen it here and here. Got it. I got the pictures, Marcia. I get it. So now I know to bring this end out, to lengthen it there and there. I just don't want to get into pattern drafting because if I'm pattern drafting, I'm not making stuff. Yeah, I got that, Marcia. Makes sense. Uh-oh. I wonder if someone was ugly to my daughter. She said she just lost her shit. Well, I don't need it. I need a keychain pattern. And that's a half-inch wide, or is it wider? No, half-inch wide strip. Whatever my perimeter is going to be. Okay, that's easy enough. Oh man, my daughter waited in line over an hour to get to the counter. And as soon as she got to the counter, they told her that they were closing that and she would have to go to a different gate to get assistance. And she lost it. And now they've she uses a wheelchair because she has leg issues. And so now, and American Airlines does not let you keep the wheelchair. They wheel you to the gate, they kick you out of the wheelchair. And then someone comes and helps you get on the plane when it's time. So it took them like 20 or 30 minutes to get her at the gate to begin with. They take her to the counter to get rebooked. And then she's in the line for an hour. They took the wheelchair from her, so now she's standing, which means she's in pain. She gets to the front of the line to the counter to be the next person, and the lady goes, "We're closing this gate. You're going to have to go down there and get in line down there." And at that point, my daughter lost it, which means she probably said a few things that she probably should not have said. She was not nice. I know this. I know my daughter. She takes after her mother. But she said now she has her own personal wheelchair to roll herself around in, and they're rebooking her flight. Yeah, she did. That's exactly what happened, Sandra. She lost her shit. I mean, I'm not going to fuss at her for losing her shit. Just can't. Shouldn't have threw that paper away. That's okay because I have some of these papers that have extra pieces. Oh, yeah. Plenty of paper on this one I can use. They can call these stupid pieces whatever they want, but they're not. These are not ballet trays. I don't care what they're calling them. Ballet trays are much larger. That one does not have space on it. Well, that one's the only one that has space in it. Yeah. Well, she probably made a comment about, listen up, it took your people 30 minutes to get me off the plane and get me a wheelchair. Then they put me in this line and they took the wheelchair away from me. I am not supposed to be standing long term, and I've had to do that to get to the front of this line. And now you're trying to put me off into another line? You have got to be kidding me. I need to talk to a supervisor now. That's probably, she might have said a few choice words in there as well, but that's probably the shortest way to put it, the nicest way to put it. Yeah. So let me see how much bigger I'm going to make this tray. I'm thinking, oh, my fingers are not participating with me today. Come on. I'll do it that much. That would make my tray about that big. And that is what, 2 inches? I could do 2 inches. I'll do it 2 inches. And believe it or not, I do know what I'm doing here. She will not get home tonight. because, yeah, she ain't getting home tonight. I'll just leave it at that. Oh, where's my line? Oh, look, that one's 2 inches wide. That's perfect. I hope they are giving her a bed to sleep in tonight. Of course, if they've got that many people being delayed, they might not have places for them to sleep. I'm basically going to increase this by the same amount in all directions, 2 inches. Let me draw me a center line now. That way I can line my pieces up when I'm done. Start at this edge and that one. It'll actually be a little bit more than 2 inches because of the edges of the ruler and the width of the lines that I'm drawing. But that's okay. We don't have to be exact, precise, 100%. Actually, I don't need to write on it. I'm cooking my legs down here. I'm going to have to turn my heater off. Okay, they're giving her a place to sleep. And she leaves tomorrow at noon. Which means she'll go to the hotel room and work on her homework. Get the fingertips out of the way. Because it's not fun when you clip the tip of your fingertips with one of these. Yes, she is by herself. Her friend actually had to head out. She put him on the train yesterday because the train was cheaper for him yesterday, because he had to get home and get to work. So yeah, she is by herself, but she's okay. Her stress level has changed since the car is on the transporter heading home. And here we are back in kindergarten drawing lines on paper. Stick my ruler down here again. And I hope that's nobody I know trying to call me. Nobody of importance. Yeah. Jeff, my lovely hub. And I'm going to have to add in space there. I just realized that. This one goes here. I will fill in these gaps. Or I can just draw them in. Doesn't matter. But basically, the tray is now going to be this big on the inside. Once I get this lined up and taped down, the rest of it will go together. It will. Promise it'll go together. And actually, I'm going to need 4 of these pieces. Because if I take this and I tape it here and there, then that, yep, got it. Sorry, I'm talking to myself, and I talk to myself in very incomplete sandwiches. I remember one time, her luggage is going to get here anyway because her luggage possibly went on a different plane, because that's just the nature of how they do things. And I understand that. But I was traveling. It was one of the times, actually it was one of the other times I got delayed. My flight got canceled, and so it was Newark again. We were going to be spending the night in Newark. Yay, us. And we had to go to a hotel. We had this kid with us, and he wasn't 15, 16 years old. And the hotel could not give him a room by himself because he was a minor. And so, it's like, what the hell do we do? And there was a couple of us that were parents. There was me and this other guy that were standing around each other at the time when all this was going on. And the man's like, do you know your dad's phone number? And the kid's like, yeah. And he's like, let's call your dad. And basically he told the man, he's like, I know you don't know me, but I cannot let your child not have a place to sleep. And so basically, dad accepted the guy's generosity, and the guy booked the room because the kid was a minor. The hotel wouldn't give him a room, so therefore the airline would not give him a voucher for a room. It was stupid. I don't know what they do with unaccompanied minors in that situation, but the dad basically had to send the guy money, and the guy made sure that the boy had a room to sleep in, put it in his name. And then we took the kid with us when we went to eat because he was terrified. He's in a place that he doesn't know. We have no transportation. We have to walk over to the restaurant to eat. He's by himself. Has never been alone by himself like that, other than flying from point A to point B. And here he is stranded as a minor. And the airline was less than helpful for the child. I know this looks like an incomplete pattern, but it really isn't. I'm going to need 2 more of these to make sure these line up correctly. Let's see inside. Is that right? I talked to myself. That isn't right. Oh, that edge doesn't matter. It's this edge that matters. Don't mind me. Because I cut this crooked. There first. That's the wrong edge. That's the crooked edge. Okay, now I need to catch up on messages. Ooh, gotta go up. Yeah, but now, she got what she needed. She actually has her flight booked for tomorrow. She won't get home until 8 o'clock tomorrow evening instead of 10 o'clock tonight. She leaves there at 12 tomorrow. They did get her a room to stay in. And yes, she is by herself. I said that already. She hasn't answered me about food. Yeah, Marcia, this was a long time ago. You're looking at close to 30 years ago. But yeah, they should have had someone assigned to him. It was horrific. But we took care of him. We took him to dinner with us. I mean, it wasn't anything spectacular. You're talking Waffle House. But we made sure the child ate. They did give him food vouchers, so we made sure he ate correctly, had food that he needed to eat. And then we also made sure that he had snacks in his room that night. So yeah, we made sure he was taken care of in that regard. We weren't going to let him go hungry or anything. We were good to the kid. His dad was thankful, grateful that people actually cared about his kid that they knew nothing about, to step up and do what the airline should have been doing the whole time. He was extremely peeved that the airline did nothing instead of them doing what they should have been doing by taking care of the child. Just do it like that. It's the spacing that I need to get right. It's not that top edge. If I get irritated with it, I'll just quit working on it because that's how I do things. Might have, no, I'm not liking this. This is not laying out the way I want it to. I usually don't have conversations when I'm when I'm altering patterns. Um, so I'm slightly distracted in that regard. My attitude goes with my hair color. I think I'm royal. Some might say royal bitch, but royal nonetheless. A few of you have met me face to face. Some of you know how I can be. Okay, let's get that out of the way. I'm going to actually use a sheet of paper instead. That works better. I've got better lining on here. Go this way. That way I get this line go this way, and I just need these lines. Okay. And Jeff just caught on to what she said about the plane, that she said her luggage will probably get to Atlanta before she does. It's like the plane's not flying with your luggage. Straight line to work with. And actually, how big are these pieces? 4. Okay, so I need a 4-inch place here. Yeah, I'm royal. Royal bitch. Nah, I can't say I'm always a lady. Part of being a woman is knowing when not to be too much of a lady. Jennifer, you have never seen me at my worst. If you did, you would know what I mean. Because, yeah, Tori can, I've thrown down with some mighty people. Let's just put it that way. A lady does not chase a guy with a baseball bat. I might have chased a sexist pig with a baseball bat. We'll just say it that way. I'm going to use that line there. Is that going to give me enough space? I'm not going to be able to use that line unless I put 2 of these pieces of paper together. Yay! No, I want it this way so I have lines. Lines, everywhere there's lines. Oh, sorry. That's not the song. I do need to do a time check because I need to pay attention to time. It is 8. Because in an hour we will pop over to Tully's in a Pod and see what we want to buy. Because I heard a rumor that Lisa has access to ordering some amazing things. Some of which I would love to get. We will see. I will say if someone is planning on getting a commission from me, they're more than welcome to order what I want from Lisa. I know some people think I'm joking when I make that comment, and I'm not. I'll use a bigger one. I'll make it better. I gotta sneeze. Oh, there we go. When I sneeze pretty violent. I hate sneezing and where people can hear me. Oh, that's right, because the plane's supposed to leave in 3.5 hours. That's what she means. I need to tell her if. That's what she, because how is her luggage going to make it here before she does if the plane's not flying? Because the plane is supposed to take off in 3.5 hours. Oh no, I just hit something. Okay. So now I can line up that and that. Now I have 2 points of alignment on these little pieces, and in theory, everything's going to line up beautifully. If not, then tomorrow I will blow up the pattern and make it bigger. Get over here. Let me line up to this one. Because I'm going to have to redo the holes anyway. When I told it to print, I didn't realize how small the patterns were. Otherwise, I would have automatically made it bigger. But sometimes when I tell you that I'm going to make something bigger than what the pattern is, this is part of what it entails, is Tori getting paper out and drawing things, because I need to make sure my pattern is accurate. Because unlike fabric, leather is, well, even some fabric is a lot more expensive. And so when you cut it, you can't uncut it. So that's not, you don't want to not have your pattern right. And so I get picky in working with the pattern, making sure it's laid out correctly. So you can see how much I'm adding between the pieces. And that should theoretically be the width of my ruler that I have now. I set it somewhere else. It is right. Wow, I cannot see. I put that there. It is just shy of that, isn't it? I put that on that edge. Interesting. That is about 1/8 of an inch shy of the width of this ruler. Is this ruler not truly an inch? It is an inch. Anyway, the case, then I get really technical here. Put these edges together here. put the edges together down here, the other end. And I'm lining up the line mark I have on here. Okay, so I'm going to use the light. Yep. Marking that center line. I know you can't see it because I'm holding it up in the straight up in the air, so I can use the light from in front of me. To mark the center line that way. You know, I'm just going to do it this way then. Actually, I'm going to make it to that line. I'm going to make that the center point. Because that is the first line closest to... Yeah, that's good. As long as I know where the center point is, then everything else can fall into place. And actually, that's not the center point. That's where these line up. But, yeah, you know what I mean. So let's go to that line. So I have 2 points of line up. I can find the literal center when I'm done. And read it. I don't have any more tape cut. Shoot. What I did was I put out a strip of tape and then I sliced through it so I can create myself some little tab pieces to use. Because I don't need big pieces right now. I just need little pieces to align things up with. Because we're in kindergarten and we're taping paper down. Because we're special at stuff. Yeah. Marcia, you know those technical measurements. You sew. You've had to figure that stuff out. And I used to make my own patterns and for dresses and stuff, and it's like, nah, not anymore. I will pay someone to make patterns for me. I just lost the desire, I guess would be the best way to put it, to actually do pattern drafting anymore. And where does that end up? Does that end up close? Yeah. I think I just ran it crooked, but yes. Line that one up. And that one up. Is my line consistent? It is. Okay. I'm good. We're in kindergarten, and I'm good. Now I line up these pattern pieces, which in theory, if I line up these lines that I lined them up to, because I'm so technical. And that makes my new just drawing those lines for my mental self. I, in theory, should have pencils down here to work with, but I do not, so like whatever. So this is the inside of the tray. I have to do the same thing to the outside of the tray. That will not work. I need to get some big paper down here for doing this stuff. My goodness, they only gave him $17 or $12 for food. Do you have to send? Because I know her money's tied up because of the hotel charging those extra fees they charge. Well, you know, they put your money on hold because you have a room at the hotel. And they did that to her. And because she was having to extend her stay day by day, they took that fee out every time, which means they have a couple $100 of her money tied up for a few days. But I will make sure my child is cared for because that's what I do. Yeah, exactly, Marcia. And on this, I don't have to worry about it as much. It's not that big of a deal. Knowing where my center points are matters because what I will do is when I go to put in the holes, I will start from the center point and go out. That way I can measure when I want to go into the curve. But speaking of that, I can draw my line for my holes. To get these things lined up. Lined up. Since I'm going to be redoing the holes anyway, I don't like the spacing they used. The spacing they used is non-standard spacing. It's not 1 millimeter. It's not 6 millimeter. It's not 4 millimeter. I think they use 3. And nobody uses 3 millimeter spacing, so I don't have hole punches. It's that way. I'm sure she'll answer me eventually. Hey, that one looks off. I'll try that again. That one is there. That one is there. Why does it look off? I'm good. I'm going to wing it. I keep hitting something. Hitting the other rulers that I have up here. Because evidently I've become a ruler fanatic. And have to have all the rulers. All the rulers. But I still think some of my coolest rulers are these little 1/2-inch rulers. They're the bomb. Okay, Marcia, you have a wonderful evening and you rest yourself. Take care of yourself, you know. You matter and stuff. To more than just us crazy people. My daughter, she tweeted about this crap on Twitter and she's already got a response from them asking to talk to her. Oh, that'll be easy enough because this corner is staying the same. Let me type to her real quick. Dinner. Flutter, did you have good rocks today? Flutter was supposed to be going out and finding pretty rocks. Ooh, you know I like mysteries. I like the strange and unusual. You know that. Be my mystery rock person. Find me weird stuff. Go ahead. I challenge you to find me weird rocks. I like owning weird rocks, Flutter. I mean, have you seen some of the ones I've gotten from Robbie? Did you see that amethyst plate I got from Robbie that's like a conglomeration of crazy? Trying to catalog that was fun because, you know, I'm taking pictures and using the ID app and everything. And so I go and I try to take a picture of it. And the problem is there's so many things going on. And I actually went through, let me see. I can access access it from here, I think. Hold on, I can pull it up. I'm gonna have to actually focus on this in order to do anything else with it. So I'm gonna just chat with you guys for a little bit. Let me see. My collection. Here, I think I can access this. Let me see. Let me copy it. Oh, it does open it over here. Thank you. Thank you, computer. Let me present. Share the screen. Go to the window. I talk to myself on a regular. I'm going to share this screen. Look at this thing. Let me see if it'll let me blow it up. Any control. So you have these little normal amethyst pockets, like, oh, you can see my mouse up here. Oops, up here in the top left, you have these normal little crystals, like the little clusters that Robbie has. You have that going on. It goes into some grays and some black amethyst. You got bigger chunks over here that are like barely have any purple color to them. You got some more of that over here, and you've got this almost black amethyst. Some of it's a dark reddish purple. Some of it has more of a green tint to it. There is something on here, I think it might be copper. It reads copper, that has green on it, which would explain copper and what happens to copper. That would make sense. And so you got that going on, and these are actual pieces as well. And just, it's got so much stuff going on. There's on the back side of this thing here, there's like little bitty crystals, like a druzy thing going on. And so this is a conglomeration. It's a big, he called it an amethyst plate. And I have it displayed in the top shelf of my cabinet now because it stands like 13 inches tall when it's on the holder. But it's just got all this kind of stuff going on, and the colors on here are not as good as the colors really are. And it's an interesting piece, to say the least. So yeah, you're gonna have to show me some. Oh, you got the video uploading. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy seeing that. I need to move that so I can see. It's 8:30. Okay. And my grandchild is making chicken Alfredo because for some reason they love making the chicken Alfredo. That's my grandchild. Yeah, that piece I got from Robbie was just yeah, it was just interesting. It was one of those pieces that he didn't want to ship, and after handling it, I absolutely understand why he didn't want to ship it, because every time I touch it, I keep breaking little pieces off of it. And I have just made that go crooked. Get back over here where you belong. And I do feel like I'm in kindergarten class again. Make sure you keep your line straight, honey. Oh, cool, Flutter. Because you know I like those pictures of cool stuff. It should be my outside edge. No, that is not true. If I'm not mistaken, this goes. Well, I mean, that one goes inside of that one. Yeah. So that's that line, not that line. Because that actually is right here. How much I need to add to that? Oh, okay, just another one of those. Okay. So if I do that, away these wonderful lines. Oh, perfect. That works. So if I no. Now I'm gonna have to go look at the pictures. Let's see if they came through. LadyToriJones sent me picture message, picture message, picture message. That's what it says. Ooh. Ah. Let me see if I can do this where I can. It could be. But I bet you haven't tried to Google it or anything yet, have you? Have you tried using the Google on it? Ooh, that's a pretty rock. Everyone's got pretty speckles. Do you want me to share these? Or can I share them? Can I share them with the class? Okay, present. Share my monitor this time, entire screen. This one. This is rock number 1 of Flutter finds for the day. That one is, are those black speckles on there or are they green? All these speckles in here, are they black? Ooh. That's an interesting piece, though. I'm gonna have to try something with that. I'm gonna actually see if Google can figure it out. If I can import it into Google and see. And then we have another one of these rocks with the red in it that are so cool looking. Look at that, just look how pretty those are. And that's with it dry, so yeah. And then there's this pretty, which is another green. Those lines are green. Huh. I want that rock. You get such cool rocks. I want to live in a place with cool rocks. I live in Georgia. We don't have cool rocks. We just got rocks. Actually, we do. My friend has stuff in his yard, and based on the pictures, he has smoky quartz and rose quartz, possibly some amethyst and jasper, and some jaspers and some other quartz. You'd sell it to me? Okay. Don't sell it to anyone else. No one else can get it. Mine. Mine. So yeah, that one's cool too. I want one of the ones with the red lines in it with the banding in it. Those are just so cool looking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing real quick. I'm going to save these pictures is what I'm going to do. I want to see what the Google, as my child often says, I'm going to see what the Google says. Okay. Oh, there's my download folder. That's fine. Save it. Yeah, I like it. I don't know. It's the lines. They just, and I absolutely like things that are the unusual ones. That's why I have some of the things I have, because I like the unusual ones. I do want to see what that one is. Let me pull it up. Where's that one? Because you can use Google with pictures on your computer. And so what I can do is I'm going to open a window. That is not where I want it to be. Let's see if we can find anything on the Google. Did I save this one? I think I did. I did. Okay. I'm going to present a screen, a window, the Google share. And And then I'm going to go here, tell it to upload a file from my and I just realized that that gives my name. Let's just take these and look. It says hematite. First image says hematite. And usually the ones that are at the top are the ones that you pull this one up and see. It looks like it. That one doesn't have the crisscrossy things on it though. Let me. Usually they don't make it go that far. Okay. Let me see if I can make it zoom in a little bit on that. No, that doesn't help any. Definitely need to send that to Lisa and Kendra for tonight. Okay, so let's upload. From the computer. Okay, I left it up over here like I wanted it to. This one. Oh, where did it go? Oh, there it is. Red jasper. Yeah, Michigan. Hey, Flutter, does this look familiar? Does that look familiar to you? So those are definitely red jaspers. Let's see. Upload another picture from my computer. Go to the next one, which is the one I'm interested in. Because it's interesting. That is not amethyst. There's a way you can add to it. Let's see. It doesn't give me the search bar like it's supposed to. Not amethyst. That was that red, the one with the red line. That was one of the things that came up was jasperite. Let's see what this one looks like. Nope, that's not it. It's still not that one. That one is. Why are you showing me purple now when it showed me green on the screen? Wait a minute, do they have something else in here? No, they don't have anything else on their page that would constitute that showing up. I hate the way they do that. It's not ocean jasper either. And I cannot take a picture of it. Jasper light is red, jasper, and hematite. Okay. Trying to find something that looks like this. Because these look like crystals to me on here. Yeah, let me see. See if I zoom in a little bit on it. A meteor, a green garnet, or peridot. I don't know, but I want to put my hands on it. And see, I'll be taking pictures of your pictures, if that makes sense. I'm trying to find something that has the little crystally like things like that does. It's like little green crystals on it. To me, it looks like little green crystals on rock. Correct? Okay. Well, let me go look at that thing. I want the rock. I don't think it's peridot. It doesn't look like that, does it? Oops. Well, no, I do want the rock. Like this. I found this in my yard. What is it? And that's not crystals. So it doesn't matter what it is. I like when I can see what it is. Oh, that's a terrible example. Does that look like it? I don't think that's it either. No, no, might have to go to Lisa's to find out. No, that's not it. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing in order to do that because it's hidden. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give me the other Give me the other message from Flutter. Not oh, there it is. Oh, that's another rock. Flutter, you know I'm going to go broke buying rocks from you. Oh, wow. That's the same rock? Just a different picture. Okay. And let me upload this one and see if he can figure it out. Upload from the computer. $83. Okay. A lot of them are saying it could be meteorite, but you can't see this. So it's not wood. That's not it. Not it, not it, not it. It's not quartz. I'm not enjoying this. I'm just going to take some pictures with my phone on it and see if the thing. Well, let's see. Where'd the meteorite go? Oh, well, I was thinking it would have we're looking at rocks that Flutter found. And I'm trying to identify it. So now I'm looking at all these meteors to see. Because that would be cool for Flutter to find meteorites. Nah, those don't have the crystal formations. None of them do. They got cool colorations in them, but none of them have the crystals the way that one does. Make her big. It's hard to tell. Which state do you live in again? Michigan. Let's see if it's in there. Yeah, it's located there. Well, maybe not. Okay. So yeah, we're looking at this rock. The one that's in the hand over here in the window by itself. It's these are like really unusual rocks. Let me see if I can pull it up and make it bigger. Oh, that is so not what I wanted to do. Forgot you can't see my file explorer because I shared that actual screen, so in that specific window. I'll have to change what I'm showing. That is not the right picture. Okay, so let me stop sharing. Start sharing. Share this. Share my entire screen of this rock. Because this one's easier for me to make it bigger. And there's these pieces, they're little green crystals in there. And see, you have me wanting to go look at my tourmaline and see if any of it. Now, I have found, now see, that makes sense. I have some rocks that are white, slightly grayish, that has tourmaline in it. And it's speckled like this. And it looks crystallized. So that wouldn't be shocking to me. But she has this rock, which is a total mystery. Which is also this rock. And you can see those crystals a little bit better. It actually might be a tourmaline then. Oops, I didn't want to do that. It's time for me to get off here too. And then she has some of the hematite jasper. And, well, I'm wondering if this might be the same thing then. Do the crystals on this one and the crystals on the other one look the same? Do these little pieces look the same on both of these rock specimens? Could it be the same crystals on well, there's this rock. Isn't there two of these rocks that have the green crystal things on them? Because you gave me that picture and then let me see. Oh, it's one rock. I got three pictures of the same rock. I like this rock. But I told you that before I knew, not knowing what it is, I like this rock. And then another one of these beauties. I got to figure out which one of these beauties I want, other than all of them. I think I want one with the lines all over the place, and one with very, have some of the specimens you have very straight lines, straight banding. I like that symmetrical banding, but I also like the chaos banding where it's just kind of, they're all over the place. So I might have to get one of each. I think that's the last picture that I have up. And I can't remember what's behind here, so I cannot Cannot close that one without stopping sharing. But it is 9 o'clock. Thule's is going on tonight. Eventually. Let me go back over here. Not there. Not there. I need to open a new tab because I'm keeping tabs on people. And Thule's is going on in 45 minutes-ish. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up here so that, hold on a minute, I'm trying to get my sheet up so that we can go to Thule's in the pod after this. Hi, Phil. So we will be over at Thule's in the pod at 9:45. They have their sales tonight, so please stop on by and check them out. And if you've been paying attention, you've seen the Flutter Yo, who posts her videos online. She does fishing videos and she does rock hunting. She's been rock hunting recently since she got shut down from ice fishing when it became not safe to do so. And it's not productive to go fishing on the shores yet because the fish are very deep, trying to keep warm. And in here earlier was Stacy Northern Aurora Treasures, who streams as well and sometimes has sales. Tomorrow night at around 7 p.m. on Fridays, we go to Get Swamped to see what they have going on. Robbie goes through what's been current event on the farm and stuff. He opens his mail. He answers questions. If you go to his videos and watch his videos and then post questions on there, he will answer those. Or if you mail video questions in, but people watch the current videos, and if they have questions on them, they pull them and he answers questions. He'll also answer questions from the chat. And then they go into selling some stuff. Lately, they've been selling a lot of amazing rocks, crystals, gems, jewelries, stuff like that. Some raw, some tumbled, some carved. It's a conglomeration. They can be very small little pieces to huge pieces. And sometimes he sells some other things if they catch some things they can get on sale. Sometimes his son Z will bring in some knives for sale or other items when the weather's right and they can do so. They'll do some like storage auctions or yard sales stuff, the flea markets and auctions, estate sales and stuff like that, and get stuff that they can auction off. So you never know what's going to be put up for sale next week. And I come on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and normally Saturdays and Sundays, but those are variable depending on if I'm in town or not. But definitely Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays, I come on approximately 5:30 to 5:45 and stream until about 9 o'clock each night. So I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I will be back here again on Saturday. Today is Thursday. Yes, I'll be back here on Saturday, and I'm probably going to wind up setting this pattern aside for this thing because I did get the blue leather in for the commission. So I will start working on the commissions next that I have to do, the 2 hats that I have to get done since I figured out my technique. And so I will get those done next. I can always come back to this because this little tray is for me. It's not a commission. My commissions come first. Paid commissions come before anything else, and these are some that I'm remaking because the measurements were not right. And so the hats did not fit the way they were intended to. So I'm going to remake them. and make them right, make them fit right. And just having the blue leather was the problem. And the first time I ordered the blue leather, they sent me the wrong leather. So they had to resend it to get me the right leather, to get me the right color. So I'm going to start working on those next. I will have to strip and clean my table off because I am going to be working with white leather. So I will see you again, hopefully on Saturday, as we resume back to streaming on that. And if you didn't see it, I will show it one last time. I finished my toiletry set. It is a 5-piece toiletry set. It has I call it a squarish container that is 7 inches tall. It has a round container that is 7 inches tall. It has a squarish container that is 4 3/4. Yes, 4 3/4 inches tall. It has a round one that is 4 3/4 inches tall. And then there is the rectangle one that is 8 by 4 by 4.5 that goes with it. And so these make up my little thing. I'm going to get Lisa of Two Leaves in a Pod to make me a resin tray to go underneath these, so when I go places with them, I can take them with me and not worry about getting the leather wet. If I put them in a hotel on the counter, the leather won't get wet. The tray would get wet, and that can be just wiped off. And it'll help keep this clean. But this is going to be used at the end of March. I am going to use it myself when I go travel because I do have something I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to be using this as my toiletry set so I can break up, face products, hair products, and stuff like that. And I think it's going to work out pretty good. So until Saturday, I hope you have a wonderful time. Take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. And watch out for the crazies. I will see you soon. Bye for now.